The billionaire leaned back in his chair with a smug smile as the young waitress approached his table carrying a notepad. Instead of ordering in English like everyone else, he deliberately switched to flawless Russian, speaking rapidly while his business associates chuckled under their breath. He was certain she would stand there embarrassed, unable to understand a single word. The restaurant grew quiet as nearby diners sensed something was wrong. The waitress calmly finished writing every item, looked him in the eyes, and answered in perfect Russian. The laughter vanished instantly. Then she added one final sentence that turned the billionaire's confident smile into stunned silence and left the entire restaurant watching in disbelief. If you believe respect is worth more than wealth, kindness is stronger than pride, and everyone deserves hope and a second chance, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories that remind us what truly matters. 48-year-old billionaire Vincent Ashford had built one of Europe's largest technology companies. Newspapers praised his brilliant business instincts, but success had quietly changed him. He had begun believing intelligence belonged only to people with impressive titles, expensive suits, and executive offices. Without realizing it, he judged strangers before learning their stories. That warm afternoon, Vincent arrived at an elegant downtown restaurant with several international investors. They were celebrating the final stages of a global partnership that could expand his company into new markets. Assigned to serve their table was 29-year-old waitress Evelyn Carter. Evelyn's warm smile made guests feel welcome, but few people knew anything about her life. Years earlier she had earned a degree in modern languages and dreamed of becoming a professional interpreter. When her father suffered a serious spinal injury, she postponed her career to care for him while working in the restaurant. Every evening after finishing her shift, she continued studying languages because she refused to let difficult circumstances erase her dreams. As Evelyn politely greeted the table, Vincent exchanged amused glances with one of his colleagues. Without warning, he began ordering in rapid Russian. He exaggerated difficult menu descriptions and even added a few sarcastic remarks, quietly suggesting that someone working as a waitress probably couldn't understand a single word he was saying. Several business guests smiled awkwardly. Others looked uncomfortable. Evelyn remained perfectly calm. She carefully wrote every detail into her notepad. When Vincent finished speaking, she looked up with a gentle smile and repeated the entire order back in flawless Russian, including every special request, every side dish, and every beverage exactly as he had described them. The table fell completely silent. Then, still speaking Russian, Evelyn politely thanked him for choosing the restaurant and softly added that intelligence should never be measured by someone's uniform because life circumstances often hide extraordinary stories behind ordinary jobs. No one laughed. Vincent stared at her in disbelief. For the first time in years, he felt genuinely embarrassed. The investors who had witnessed the exchange quietly changed the subject while Evelyn excused herself to place the order. Throughout the meal, Vincent couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. She had never raised her voice. She had never insulted him. She had simply answered with grace. After lunch, Vincent asked the restaurant manager whether he could speak with Evelyn privately. Expecting criticism, Evelyn reluctantly agreed. Instead, Vincent apologized. He admitted he had spoken in another language because he wanted to impress his guests and assumed she would never understand him. He confessed that his behavior reflected arrogance rather than confidence. Evelyn accepted the apology with quiet dignity. She explained that learning languages had always been her passion because languages allow people from different cultures to understand one another. Using them to embarrass someone defeated their true purpose. Curious, Vincent asked why she was working as a waitress instead of interpreting international conferences. Evelyn smiled gently and told him about her father's accident, the medical appointments, and the responsibility she gladly accepted to care for the man who had sacrificed everything for her education. She said dreams sometimes pause, but they don't disappear. Those words stayed with Vincent. Over the following weeks, he found himself reflecting on the many people he had underestimated simply because of their professions. Determined to change, he introduced new leadership training throughout his company, emphasizing humility, respectful communication, and the importance of listening before judging. Executives were encouraged to spend time with employees at every level of the organization, learning from their experiences rather than making assumptions. The changes transformed the company's culture. Employee satisfaction increased. Collaboration improved. Clients noticed the difference. Months later, Vincent contacted Evelyn once again. This time it wasn't to discuss the awkward afternoon. It was to offer her an opportunity. His company needed multilingual communication specialists to coordinate international partnerships. After careful interviews and competitive selection, Evelyn earned the position entirely on her own merit. She accepted with gratitude, knowing it was not a favor but the chance she had spent years preparing for. Her father watched proudly as she began the career she had almost abandoned. Years later, Evelyn became one of the company's most respected international directors, mentoring young professionals from every background. Whenever someone asked how her journey began, she simply smiled and said that respect opens more doors than pride ever can. Vincent never forgot the lesson either. Whenever new executives joined the company, he shared the story of the afternoon when a waitress quietly reminded him that wisdom often wears an ordinary uniform. Before this story comes to an end, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever surprised someone who underestimated you? Please leave a meaningful comment below because your experience may encourage someone else to keep believing in themselves. As another warm afternoon sunlight filled the restaurant years later, Vincent returned to the very same table where everything had changed. This time he greeted every employee with genuine warmth, thanked the kitchen staff personally, and smiled as Evelyn welcomed international guests with the same quiet confidence that had once humbled him. He realized that the greatest lesson of his career had never come from a boardroom or a billion-dollar deal. It had come from a waitress who chose dignity instead of revenge. Sometimes the strongest response to disrespect is calm excellence, because true character never needs to prove itself through humiliation. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, never judge someone's future by the job they hold today. The person serving your table may one day teach you the most valuable lesson of your life.